How did I get here? Like, was it a incorrect choice? Was it like a life decision? Were there like two roads diverged in a yellow wood and I chose the wrong one? Welcome back to another Classroom Horror Stories. This is episode 15. 15. 14 plus 1. That means enough of you have asked for this series that I've had to read 15 episodes. I do like 4 stories per episode. 15, 30, 45, roughly 60 stories. 60 of these stories. My therapist does not have the bandwidth for this type of trauma, but the show must go on. Before I read these stories, I'm contractually obligated by my adopted daughter to tell you about the bet that we have going on. If we hit 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, she's gonna do Elphaba makeup on me. So don't subscribe. I don't know. Okay, Emily, you feel better? I told them about the bet. You're the worst. All right, let's get into some horror stories. All right, story number 1 comes from Catherine. Hi, Mr. J. My name is Kat. I'm sorry for giving your full government name. I'm a 10th grade student from New Jersey. I love your celebrities. I want to start off by saying I love your content as someone who is also neurodivergent. Oh my God. Oh, that is so funny. Someone who is also neurodivergent. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. The thing is, it is probably true. I've just never had somebody be like, yeah, this makes 2 of us. Oh, that is so funny. Oh, I'm crying. Okay. Someone who is also neurodivergent and hopes to one day be a teacher. You're going to do great. I wanted to share one of my classroom horror stories with you. Let me know if you would like more, smiley face. I probably won't, but here we go. When I was in 7th grade, me and my friend, let's call her A, had this bully, let's call him E. A is the friend, E is the bully. I always screw up the characters in these stories, so bear with me here. Anyway, this started as E just jokingly making fun of A in English, but then things began to escalate. E started becoming serious with the things he was saying to A. We could tell because of the tone of E's voice, and our teacher, let's call him Mr. W, just sat there at his desk and let it happen. Mr. W, get it together. Things got so bad to the point where A had her head down on the table crying. Oh, A, I'll be friends with you, A. This is when I had enough of E's crap, so I stood up and started screaming at E in front of the whole class about how it's not okay to make fun of people. Hell yeah, cat. Get him. Then I told Mr. W he either needed to call down to the office or guidance, or A would walk out of class with me and go down to them ourselves. Mr. W did not call guidance, so A and I walked down to guidance's office. We told them everything that was happening, but they just told us we were overreacting and it was not a big deal. E eventually stopped bullying A. Okay, win. Well, the story's only half over. About a month later, E started bullying again. This time, he was bullying me. Not only was he verbally making fun of me like he did to A, but he was also making fun of me for my ADHD and body shaming me. Okay, that's horrible. Once again, Mr. W just sat there at his desk. I started telling E that it's not okay to be doing this stuff. She then asked me if I wanted to go down to guidance. I said no, but looking back, it might have been a better decision to say yes. Anyways, after school that day, I had play rehearsal. Throughout play rehearsal, I kept on and off crying, and the director/band teacher kept yelling at me. That's for a different horror story. What? Any teacher that sees a kid crying and decides that the right course of action is to start yelling, quit. Find a different job. My friends could obviously tell that something was going on, so during our snack break, they asked what was wrong, and I immediately started breaking down, so we went to the bathroom. I realized that all of the cast and crew noticed that something was wrong that day. So, after a few minutes in the bathroom with my friends, all of the female cast and crew walked into the bathroom, and they were asking me what was wrong. I did my best to tell them. They were all telling me that I needed to report what was happening while they were calming me down. So I went to the principal's office and told them what happened, and this is what he said. I don't give an F. You're just being a sensitive piece of S. Get out of my office. What? The principal said this? Oh my God. This is just one of my many classroom stories. Let me know if you want to hear more. I hope to see this in the next classroom horror story video, but no pressure. Have a great day. I feel like, okay, 2 things I want to say. First off, in my entire life experience, I've known this to be true. Theater kids are the nicest people in the world. 9 times out of 10. There's always that one who like thinks that they're already on Broadway and they start treating people like crap. But 99% of the theater kids I've met are the sweetest people in the world. If you're a theater kid, keep doing that because you're going to just be better off. Second thing, do you know how when you watch like a murder mystery documentary or something like that, like true crime, and there's always this one scene where they're like, we went to the police and we said, that guy right there is a murderer. And the police are like, I don't believe you. And then they stop looking into it. And then the dude who is the murderer goes on to kill like 100 more people. I feel like a lot of the stories that have to do with teachers are very much along those lines, where it's like, this principal could have easily fixed this, but no. Kat, thank you for writing in. Let's do another one. All right, this next one is from Chelsea. Hi, Mr. J. I'm Chelsea, and I'm a student from Australia. Good day. Wait, is that insulting? No, I'm just saying good day. I probably said it poorly. Hi. Hello, Chelsea, from the land down under. I love watching your videos, very entertaining, and is a good place to go after a long day. Aww. Thanks, Chelsea. I can't believe this calms you down. This is crazy. All the names in the story will be fake names, smiley face. Love it. So last year, my year 8 class was very chaotic and would put teachers through a lot. And I mean a lot. I never taught 8th grade. I never taught 7th grade. I never taught 8th grade. One sec, I gotta sneeze. Every sneeze is a life-changing event. Oh my God. Okay. I never taught 7th or 8th grade or 9th or 10th, but those years just seem mental to be a teacher. If you're a 7th through 10th grade teacher, go in the comments, tell me if I'm right. Is it actually as chaotic as you think? One morning we had science and we were doing an experiment in the science lab. Cool. We were learning about Bunsen burners and stuff like that. Not cool. I could probably finish the story myself. Keep in mind, we had a teacher that we'll call Mr. D, and he was very strict and was the only teacher who would actually handle our class. There's always that one teacher who was like, got it. During the lesson, Mr. D went around the class to each group, making sure everyone was being safe, on task, and all those teacherly things. So teacherly. Anyway, I remember sitting with a group which had myself and 4 of my friends. We were all doing what we were supposed to be doing until I looked over at one of the groups of boys on the other side of the class. I fear that this is me. I would have been in the group of boys. This is going to go so south so fast. While the teacher was distracted, one of the boys, let's call him Ben, picked up the Bunsen burner and held it dangerously close to his friend's head. We'll call the friend Jake. He put the Bunsen burner next to his head. Jake, who wasn't paying attention, was looking the other way. While the group of boys were laughing and the teacher was still distracted, Jake turned back to his friends, and while Ben was laughing, he dropped the Bunsen burner and it landed on Jake's lap, which set his shirt on fire and burned him very badly. Oh, Christ. This happened while you were in class? While his shirt was still on fire, his friends were still laughing and the whole class was shocked. Mr. D finally turned around and saw the commotion. The fire was finally put out and Jake was crying and sent to the office. Ben was suspended and Mr. D got written up for not paying attention to the class whilst working with hot objects. Okay, I mean, I'm not one to like put it all on the teacher's fault, like not completely blame the teacher, but like you're working with Bunsen burners. You got to be like incredibly vigilant. Also, even when I'm teaching like a regular lesson that doesn't include fire, I'll still consider like who's in which group. I'm not going to put 2 kids who are like me when I was in middle school next to each other. No. And then you give them fire? No. To this day, Jake still has scars from the burns and hasn't involved himself in any lessons with fire since. This is one of my stories. I hope you have a good day/night/evening, Mr. J. Wow, you're really covered any time of day this could be happening. This is mental. It's good to know that even in Australia, this is still mental. Thank you for writing in, Chelsea. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, any lesson that has to do with fire, I'm good. There was one time, and I can try to find the video of this, where this was back when, for God knows what reason, I was given the job of teaching STEM. We were teaching circuits, electrical circuits, right? I'm gonna find the video because this is hilarious. We were teaching electrical circuits, and I learned that if you take copper, you wrap it around part of a light bulb, and then you touch 2 different sides of the copper wire to a battery. Don't do this at home. the light bulb goes off because you create a circuit. But if you get more batteries and you line them up and then you put the copper wire on each side, it goes way brighter. So I started doing that, and we were supposed to do it with only one. I did it with like 12. It was awesome. I loved it. I should have been fired. There it is.
All right, now we're just getting out of hand. I have 7 batteries.
How? Just how? I can see
Oh, that's so bright. Oh my God.
All right, let's do another one. All right, this next one is from Hadley. Hi, Mr. J. I love watching your videos. They make me feel better about life. Aw, that makes me so happy. I also love your sense of humor. My name's Hadley. I'm from Missouri. I don't know if this classifies as a horror story, but I'll tell you anyway. And I will let you know if it does. When I was in 8th grade, I had this teacher, we'll call him Mr. P. The very first day, he wouldn't stop talking about how he had a doctorate and teaching us was below him. What? He told you that teaching was below him? He would give us ridiculously hard work and expect us to know it before we learned it. He didn't teach us anything. Okay, I don't know a great deal of teachers who are like in high school or middle school that have doctorates, but this is so on par. Of the teachers I've seen that have doctorates, this is so real, where they just like expect you to know everything and just like not teach anything. And then if you don't get it, they think you're an idiot. I had a couple of teachers that had PhDs. This is how they acted. It's not everybody, but if you're a teacher with a PhD, be humble. Sit down. He didn't teach us anything. He would say to go online and figure it out. Nice. That's how you got your doctorate? If we asked him a question, he wouldn't answer it very well. That semester, we basically taught ourselves American history. Okay, that sucks. In my class, we had some problem students. They were known as the troublemakers and would be sent to the office almost every day. Well, he was especially mean to a few of them. He had them during the last 25 minutes of the day, which we call bulldog time. It's when we would work on homework or missing work. He would yell at them almost every day. I will say, in fairness, the last 25 minutes of the school day is mental. It's so hard to keep people chilled out. Fast forward to the end of the semester, the problem students were being noisy as they usually were, and Mr. P apparently snapped and started calling them racial slurs. Oh my God. Mr. P, what the hell? He yelled at them for a few minutes and then proceeded to leave the classroom full of children and walk out of the school. Needless to say, he was not invited back for the rest of the semester and the year. Thank you for reading, and I hope you enjoyed it at least a little bit. I mean, here's the thing. Nothing screams you shouldn't be in a classroom more than this, like, the moment that you mention this, like, mentality that he has about, like, this is below me, I should be doing something better. It's like, if you could, you would be doing something better. Clearly, you're not at the abilities that you think you're at, okay? But then, to be this know-all genius and to be calling somebody a racial slur, a high schooler, or an 8th grader, to be going in and calling them a racial slur, you're obviously not as smart as you think you are. Thank you for writing in, Hadley. Oh, I almost went off on that one. All right, let's do one more. All right, this last classroom story is from Aaron. This story takes place a few years ago when my class had one of those kids in our class. I am not 100% sure what you mean when you say those kids in quotes, but I think you're gonna let me know. He was known for causing several problems in the school, including stealing most of our students' chapstick and throwing it at the wall behind the teacher's desk. Why chapstick? I'm trying to understand why you would be stealing chapstick. Chasing kids with scissors, horrific, and pushing over 9 desks in one sitting. This is a strong child. This time, he stole a stapler off one of the teacher's desks and started chasing students. What? We went downstairs to our school's large group classroom. He followed us there. I was told to come back into the hall when I saw him running towards me and a few others. He then proceeded to jump on another student's back. I later spoke to the student, and allegedly, the student that we'll call Lucy said, "Time to stop living," in his ear. Lucy was let back into the class after lunch. That's it. If a kid's running around with a stapler, let's give them a break and then let them back into the class. If you're a principal and you heard that sentence and thought, that makes sense, quit the profession. Christ. He was let in the class after lunch and chased us back into a large group classroom again. Weird. It's so crazy how a 10-minute timeout didn't fix his entire... Okay. We ran into the gym and he saw us walking into the gym. He was stopped by teachers, but then as we walked back to class, we saw the school police holding his hands behind his back. We got the rest of the day off of schoolwork. I would also like to note that Lucy is short for Lucifer. The kid's name is Lucifer? He only received 3 days of in-school suspension. 3 days of in-school suspension? You brought him into the school to sit and think about what he did for 3 days after he chased students with a stapler. I will never understand the disciplinary systems in schools, and I've seen it. I'm not going to act like every school that I've been at has been perfect, but I'll never understand how the punishment fits the crime in that a student chased other kids with a stapler and is put back into the school to serve 3 days of in-school suspension. I don't get it. I'll never get it. I don't want to get it. Genuinely, I want somebody to explain to me how that makes sense and how that's going to change the way that he acts, right? These are mental. Absolutely mental. All right, well, this gives me something to talk about in therapy. I never want to do any of these again, but for some reason, you all are obsessed with these stories. So if you need part 16, go to the comments, let me know. Before I let you go, I need to tell you about something that's very, very important to me. I started a company. That company is called America's Heroes Contests. We're currently running the second contest where I'm giving away $5,000 to a teacher. So if you or someone you know is a teacher who deserves a $5,000 pay raise, send them over to americasheroescontest.com so that they can get into the third contest, which will happen in May. I'm not completely sure what the reward's going to be then. It'll probably be bigger than $5,000. I'll keep you updated. Oh my God, I need to take a walk or something. These are insane. All right, see ya. Skibbity bop ba outro music. YouTube loves to call me out on copyright. Skibbity bop ba bop.